Who wants to reside somewhere where taxes aren't required? In a region with minor crime rates? Maybe somewhere that offers several advantages like healthcare, affordable housing, and a highly safe environment to spend your latter years. Why don't you watch this video? I'm sure you'll be able to decide where to settle down. Number 10. Florida. The Sunshine State continues to attract visitors to its sandy beaches and bright skies, and it's easy to understand why. Florida was named the 24th most excellent state to live in by the US News & World News in 2017. After moving to 13th in 2019, Florida is ranked as the 10th greatest state after 3 years, and this demonstrates that Florida is at its best and will continue to improve. Florida's higher education system, although an average public school system, is the most accessible and affordable in the nation. Its low-cost educational system provides a high percentage of graduates, most of whom have little student loan debt. Therefore, Florida still has an education system worth discussing, even though the state lacks Ivy League institutions. Suppose you chose to forego school and enter the workforce straight away, or even entrepreneurship, the Sunshine State will take care of you. One of the nation's most robust economies is found in Florida. In 2021, its GDP exceeded $1.1 trillion. To put that into perspective, Florida would rank in the top 15 wealthiest nations of the world if it were a nation. According to the nation's Bureau of Labor Statistics, the state of Florida added more than 500,000 jobs in 2021. Number 9. Massachusetts. The Baked Bean State is the next state on the list. Massachusetts currently has the most residents of any state in northeastern America's New England area, and they know something you don't based on the rate of the newcomers moving in. The good thing is you will soon learn. Even though the state's infrastructure may be far worse than that of other states in the nation, Massachusetts provides some of the top educational and medical services. The state takes pride in having the most intensive care and mental health providers per capita. It also has the highest rate of college graduates in the nation and is home to the Ivy League institutions like Harvard and MIT. They have a slightly higher than average cost of living, with the average renter paying $1,225 per month, $200 more than the average of the nation. The state compensates for this by offering the highest degree of insurance protection. Number 8. Wisconsin. Wisconsin is friendlier on your wallet and savings than Massachusetts, which has inexpensive housing. The typical renter in Wisconsin only pays roughly $837 per month for accommodation. The amount was $168 less than the national average of $1,230. Due in part to this, Wisconsin's overall cost of living is significantly cheaper than the national average, with only 10% of its citizens living at or below the poverty level. The state generally treats the typical home leniently, it gives working class many chances, and has the 10th best fiscal stability in the nation. Number 7. Virginia. States that can readily provide you with both fast-paced action of important centers and slow-paced hospitality of rural villages are few and far between in the United States. Virginia does that. The Old Dominion state offers everything you could want: some stability for the family man, excitement for those seeking adventure, tranquility for the elderly, and a thriving economy for business. It is thought that the state's economy is a powerhouse. As a result, it consistently ranks as one of the best states for doing business in the nation. This year, Virginia's economy only improved, and it is anticipated that with an unemployment rate of 4.62%, Virginia will outperform the country in the upcoming years, with only 9.8% of its population living at or below the poverty line. And the state's powerhouse economy have contributed to its relatively low poverty rate. Number 6. Nebraska. The Cornhusker State has one of the best conditions for leading a relaxed life and creating a happy household because there are so many lovely people. If moving to Nebraska still doesn't sound ideal, let's get technical. Despite having many small communities, the state has one of the most substantial infrastructures in America. Its well-developed towns give you a sense of both rural and urban settings. They include all the amenities of a large metropolis, the best of both worlds. Although the state's extensive agricultural activity hurts water quality, it also causes herbicides to leak into the groundwater, one of Nebraska's states that use most renewable energy. The Cornhusker State receives a passing mark for its natural environment as a result of this. The fact that Nebraska is the second most affordable state in the US in addition to the state's natural beauty is what truly distinguishes it as one of the best states in the union. The cost of utilities, housing, food, healthcare, and transportation is significantly lower than the national average. Number 5. Idaho. With the discovery of gold in the area in the late 1800s, Idaho, like many other US states, attracted its initial settlers. They arrived, mined, and settled. The same as before, Idaho became a state luring many new inhabitants, but this time it's the realization that it's one of the best places to live in both now and in the years to come that draws people from here. Idaho boasts the fastest growing economy in the nation, one of the main factors making it one of the top states in America. The GDP has grown by 17% over the last 5 years, the amount and possibly a sizable portion of the year's final state budget of $1.4 billion in surplus is to blame for the economic growth in Idaho. The high financial stability of the state's unemployment rate, which is only 2.7%, is considerably lower than the national average. Number 4. New Hampshire. You might wonder what one of the Union's tiniest states could offer in such a list. And that's a lot. Despite having the shortest shoreline of any state, New Hampshire, the distinctiveness and the natural beauty of its little villages more than make up for the size it lacks. Regarding the quality of the environment, the Granite State is consistently rated among the top 10. It also offers some of the best air quality in the nation. If you enjoy breathing clean air, this is good news for you. Afterward, this might be the state for you. The low crime rate in New Hampshire is another breath of fresh air for visitors. It leads the nation in crime, yet has one of the lowest jail rates in the country. Inmates make up 197 out of every 100,000 residents, significantly fewer than the national average of 359 per 100,000. The Granite State has the second lowest violent crime rate in the nation, although the national average for property crime is twice as high in New Hampshire. Due to its somewhat higher than average housing costs, there might be better states for starting a family, but it's suitable for small town living. Number 3. Utah. The Beehive State's economy is smaller than that of Florida or Texas, but the size isn't everything regarding economic production. Utah demonstrates this by having the best economy of any state of any nation. Utah is a beautiful state to move to if you're considering your job alternatives or starting a business. It is ideal for reaching financial objectives in the short term and will have enormous advantages in the long run. The lowest unemployment rate in the nation at 2% is Utah, followed by Nebraska with a job growth rate of 3.7%. The state is leading the country in lowering unemployment. Manufacturing, construction, transportation, and utilities are leading employers in this sector. Number 2. Minnesota. There's a good reason why Minnesota is known as a land of 10,000 lakes, as many reasons exist for Minnesota to be the second best place to live in 2023, as there are thousands of lakes to discover there. Minnesota isn't just second on this list, but also second in terms of the options available to the residents of the state. With several Fortune 500 businesses spread out across the state, with 16 Fortune 500 firms offering work, Minnesota has one of the lowest unemployment rates, which is unsurprising, with only 8.6% of Minnesotans living at or below the poverty line. The state boasts one of the lowest poverty rates in the nation. Not surprisingly, Minnesota has one of the nation's most significant food insecurity and home ownership levels because of its low rate of divorce and separation, as well as its low unemployment rate. Minnesota is considered to be at least the 4th best state in which to raise a family. Minnesota has a great early education program for children, but higher education is a little more expensive. The state also has one of the most significant property gaps in the nation. Number 1. Washington. Why is it so fantastic to live in the Washington state? It gives you access to one of the nation's major state economies. Based on its gross domestic product, the state ranks among the top 10. Washington is a terrific place to work because of this, and its unemployment rate is lower than the national average. There are even more benefits if you choose to do that. Given Washington's strong job market and the presence of household companies like Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, Costco, and more throughout the state, career opportunities here tend to be a little more varied. No personal state income taxes are due from you as a resident working in Washington. Only 9 states, including Washington, permit this in the US and have no personal income tax. A flourishing career is not only the reward, the state does not impose a business income tax. With miles of Pacific coastline and serene mountain ranges, Washington also offers a stunning setting. It is the greatest because of this. What do you think then? You can now select the city you want to call your home. And that's it guys, we'll see you in our next video. And if you agree or learned something new or even enjoyed the video, please don't be afraid to click that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next ones.